All right, so it's about 12:46. I think what we can do is get started. Appreciate everyone just taking time to join our session today. Of course, today we're going to talk about StarShip's integration with Acumatica. My name is Matt St. John, one of the sales executives here at V Technologies, and I will be your host and take you through, again, that deep integration that StarShip has with Acumatica. Of course, kind of little housekeeping. There is the chat section, Q&A. We even actually have a poll, so please feel free if you have any questions, ask them in the chat or through the Q&A. And if you don't mind taking a couple seconds just to answer our poll. Towards the end, I will actually put up my contact information, and also feel free to reach out to me if you'd like to learn more about StarShip and, again, that integration with Acumatica. Today, I'm kind of just going to go through a slide deck. Unfortunately, can't do a live demo, but more than happy to schedule a follow-up call so we can do a deeper dive and do a live demo of the integration, again, with Acumatica. So just to start off a little bit about V Technologies, we actually have been developing integrated shipping solutions since 1987. That is all we do at V Technologies. We are actually located in Connecticut. Everything we do is done in-house, so things like support from development, QA, again, all done right in the office in Connecticut. Now, with V Technologies, on this slide, as you see, we are a strategic UPS-ready provider, also with FedEx as well. Basically, what that means is we are...
Matt, I'm sorry to interrupt. We're actually not seeing your slides right now.
Okay. Interesting.
There should be that computer icon below the video.
Yep. I'm sorry. Totally forgot I was not sharing anymore. Okay. So let me go back. So you can see it now, I hope.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that, everyone. So as I was discussing, V Technologies with StarShip, we are an actual certified solution for both UPS and FedEx. So things like our labels are already certified. We go through those pains so you don't have to. But also because we're certified, we are part of the carrier subsidy program. So if you're unaware, with the carriers, you can actually qualify for free funding. And of course, you could use that to purchase StarShip, do the monthly payments, prepay for a year, because we do actually offer a 5% discount if you prepay with StarShip, because again, we do offer monthly SaaS-based pricing, or again, prepay for a year. Now, we do integrate with a dozen other ERP systems, but we've been working with Acumatica for 6 years now. And over our 34 years, we've actually had over 10,000 businesses that have used StarShip to help improve their shipping workflow. Okay, and where my slide button go? Okay, so some bullet points about StarShip. One, with that integration with Acumatica, it is literally plug and play. So the way we do things is we are just simply data mapping StarShip fields to Acumatica fields and vice versa. So we don't have to get into doing custom programming. Again, inside StarShip, we just take any of the shipment fields and we can point them to Acumatica fields. Now, with that being said, it could be a standard Acumatica field. For example, we'll use the ship via field to automatically tell StarShip the carrier service. We can even look at custom Acumatica fields, or if you have attribute fields or those user-defined fields, we can map those in. So a lot of our clients use those to help streamline their daily shipping process. So as a shipper, because that's the name of the game, we don't want the shipper to have to click, type, touch. For example, with third-party shipments, we can set that up where that order or shipment comes in, StarShip automatically has the billing type changed to third-party collect bill recipient, as well as automatically populating that account info. All right. So again, as a shipper, I don't have to stop and worry about doing that. Now, with the integration, we can pull by sales orders, we can pull by shipment records, or we can even pull by customer record. Most clients, it is by the shipment record, but just know if you wanted to pull by a sales order, on write back, StarShip would automatically send back the shipping information and create the shipment record inside of Acumatica. So again, one thing a shipper doesn't have to worry about, or someone in the front office, all that information immediately going to write back into Acumatica. So we'll have the tracking information, freight costs, freight price. So we can write back your live negotiated rates into the shipment record. And then of course, send back what you want to charge the customer. Now, with StarShip, we do integrate with over 24 LTL and small parcel carriers. So really, I always say, kind of allows you to build a multi-carrier strategy. You know, the more tools in your shed, the better off you're going to be, especially nowadays with COVID, you know, companies that are doing a lot of LTL type shipments. You know, a lot of the trucking companies are backlogged. So it might take a couple of weeks for them to come pick up your shipment. So the nice thing, having multiple carriers at your disposal, you know, you could be able to see right from inside StarShip, you know, who's going to be able to pick up, you know, and get the delivery there the fastest, or of course the least expensive. And really with StarShip, because it is multi-carrier, multi-mode, you're going to be able to process all your different type of shipments from within the StarShip user interface. So again, LTL, small parcel, international, going to get into showing you, talking about how to do blind shipments, drop shipping. I already kind of discussed about third-party shipments where StarShip can automatically populate all that correct information. Okay. Now, also with StarShip, we can get into doing things like switch rules or best way shipping. So some of our clients, they actually have StarShip set up where it's automatically going to select the least expensive carrier, or maybe we want to do the least expensive, least amount of delivery days. So StarShip can even take that whole rating and automate it. Things like switch rules. Maybe hey, anytime it's customer ABC, I always want it to go UPS second day on a certain account number. We can even take Acumatica fields again and have StarShip use those to select the carrier service. So I actually have a customer that sells chocolate, and they actually just have a simple field inside on the sales order that StarShip looks at. If it's selected, which the customer service will select it if the weather's above 70 degrees, and then StarShip sees that, automatically changes the service to UPS second day. So there's less likely a chance that the chocolate is going to melt. Okay, so again, really name of the game, streamline that shipping, making the shipper just bring in a shipment or a sales order, not worrying about having to do shipping options or changing billing types or selecting carriers. So with international shipments, blind shipments, again, it's just automation. You know, I'm probably going to keep saying that, but even blind shipments, we can have StarShip automatically change the sender information. So it shows, you know, a lot of our customers ship for Home Depot, and Home Depot wants them to show like it's coming from Home Depot, or maybe just the company name says Home Depot. So that can be automated. So as a shipper, I don't have to change the sender information. And we of course do fully support having different sender information, even rate shopping from different zip codes. StarShip does fully support. Right. Now, international, if you need, StarShip can be set up with all the required international information. And same thing for LTL with like NMFC codes and freight classes. That could all actually be stored inside StarShip. So as a shipper, I don't have to stop and worry about filling out a freight class or filling out a harmonize or country of manufacturer, you know, any of that required international data. We can even tell StarShip, hey, you know, for this international shipment, I need you to generate a commercial invoice or a shipper's letter of instruction. Of course, LTL type shipments, we can do bill of lading forms, you know, packing slips. So really, and I'll show you an example of some of those documents that StarShip can generate in a little bit. Okay. Now, with advanced functionality, again, I kind of discussed this about setting up custom rules inside StarShip, like ship via and freight rules. Very simple. The widgets that we have are just very user-friendly, very easy to use. So really anyone can get in there and set up the rules. Now, printing logic. So with StarShip, you can actually set up unlimited templates for each of the different shipping documents and then assign rules for when those documents print. So I'll go back to the example with Home Depot. They also have a special packing list that, of course, has their logo, their information. It also has a return section. So what we can do is actually set that up inside StarShip, mirrors the same Home Depot requirements for that packing list. And then we simply assign a rule that says, hey, StarShip, only generate this document if the shipment is for Home Depot. Okay. Hazmat shipping. Again, StarShip has a database where we could set up and store all the required hazmat information, inner packs, what special labels need to be printed. And if anyone's using an EDI solution or doing EDI type shipments, StarShip could also generate those GS1 128 or UCC 128 labels. So right at time of shipment, as soon as my shipper clicks ship and process, they're going to receive all those required documents, including 128 labels. Okay. Now, speaking of EDI, we do integrate with the EDI solutions out there in the Acumatica world, as well as Acumatica's WMS system. So with those integrations, of course, with EDI, nice thing is what StarShip would do is automatically send back the required shipping info to the EDI solution. So no one has to manually put in tracking numbers or pro numbers or, tell them what's being shipped. StarShip's going to do that. And then, of course, the EDI solution will take that data from there, upload it to your trading partners to generate ASNs, or even I have clients that their EDI solution generates those 128 labels. So, different workflows. That's also another nice thing about StarShip. We could really set up the system to go along with your workflows. I keep talking about how StarShip has the databases for additional information, but if you want, that could be stored all inside of Acumatica, and then we can simply just data map those Acumatica fields into StarShip. Okay. WMS integration, that's a great integration to have, because from a handheld device, your process could actually just be picking and packing and shipping. So as a picker or a packer, a lot of clients that it might be a separate employee, or someone does everything at once, but they're going to be able to pick their items. Nice thing with using WMS, not going to allow for mispicks or anything like that. And then, of course, we can pack that information. So we can tell StarShip, or with the WMS system, I can go around and put, hey, maybe these two items go into a large box, and then this one item goes into a small box. So however you define that shipment detail through a WMS on that handheld, that's how it's going to flow into StarShip. So now at time of shipment, as a shipper, I don't even have to worry about putting items in boxes, selecting package types. Even with StarShip, we're going to display dimensional weight. So even at time of shipment, a shipper can see, hey, maybe I put a couple items in a large box, and you know what? It actually only weighs 8 pounds, but dimensionally, we're going to be charged 19 pounds. So maybe I should stop and see if I can get these items in a smaller box. That way, we're not paying for that extra dimensional weight. Right. So again, just some of those bullet points. Of course, more than happy to show you a live demo, or just schedule a discovery call. Now, here is just a slide of just some of the carriers that StarShip integrates with. So with StarShip's carrier integrations, it's a live call. Right. So we're going to ping the carriers that you use. We're going to return things like, of course, your live contract rate. Again, live calls, so no staging tables. For small parcel, we can even return published list rates. We're going to fully support any of the contract options that you have, any of the additional service options. So for example, like with FedEx, like one rate, we do fully support that. So again, live rate shopping, and that could be done from inside StarShip at time of shipment, or even from sales order entry. So if we want our customer service reps or sales reps who are inside Acumatica to actually be able to live rate shop, they're going to have that ability to do that. That is included with StarShip. It does not require any additional user seats or licenses. So really with StarShip, the way we kind of break down those user seats, it really boils down to your shippers, because that's who's going to be inside StarShip processing shipments. Things like, again, like rate shopping, if we want the front office to have that power, that's included, no additional seats. We even have a whole dashboard program, which is a reporting and matrix tool. Same thing, that's included, and that does not require any additional user seats or licenses. Now, e-commerce integration. So StarShip does integrate with e-commerce sites. Now, of course, if you are using Acumatica's built-in e-commerce integration, then our integrations would not be required, because what StarShip is doing is we're going to send back that shipping data into the correct Acumatica tables. And then from there, Acumatica will grab that data, upload it to an e-commerce site. But StarShip does have those integrations. They can actually be used two different ways. We could do it as a direct integration where, and I'll use Shopify as an example, but we can pull right from inside of StarShip your orders directly from Shopify. And then, of course, the shipper will ship and process those. And then StarShip would just simply write back the shipping information to the order on Shopify. Now, of course, that's bypassing our ERP system being Acumatica. So most customers don't do that. Of course, we probably want to get our orders from Shopify into Acumatica first. So if that's the workflow, then we just simply use our integrations as an extension. And as an extension, what StarShip's going to do on the write back, it's going to write back the shipping data to the Acumatica shipment record as normal, but it would also update, again, that order on Shopify, for example. And then here are some of those customers that are using Acumatica and StarShip. So again, these customers streamlining their daily shipping process with StarShip's integration to Acumatica. All right. Oh, and actually, I can't do a demo, so I'll just bypass that. But what I did take some screenshots. So, for example, this screenshot is just the packaging. I happen to bring in an LTL shipment, but as you see here, we can actually see that item, box, or package and pallet detail. So as I mentioned, if we were doing this from a WMS on the handheld, that's how it would flow into StarShip. We could also manually do it inside of StarShip. And most of our clients that are not using Acumatica's WMS, they actually manually build the shipments inside of the StarShip program. Of course, you can manually build them in the shipment record inside Acumatica, and that's how it would flow in. But it is, a lot of our clients find it easier to do inside StarShip because it is simple drag and drop. So we can take items, just drag them, drop them into packages. Very simple to add single packages, single pallets. We even have repeat package functions where we can tell StarShip, hey, repeat this package 9 times, copy the original weights. Item box detail, we don't have to put items in each of the boxes. So some of our clients, they have large orders and 100 line items, for example, and maybe they don't want their shipper to take the time to put items in each box. So you don't have to do that. We also support packaging scenarios. So if you do have any single item that always goes in the same type of package or multiple versions of that package, StarShip could be set up to automatically learn those packaging scenarios, or you can actually just manually add them. But on this slide deck, that Acer laptop, there was actually a packaging scenario. So StarShip automatically packaged that laptop in that Acer box for me. Okay. Packaging scenarios kind of designed them more for case packs. Unfortunately, we can't do multiple items into a same type of package, but with it being case packs, we could also set quantity breaks. So you can tell StarShip, hey, only 6 laptops fit in that Acer box. And if the order was for 12, for example, of course, StarShip would bring that in and it would have 2 Acer boxes with 6 laptops in each of the box. This is that live rate shopping. So this is just, again, either from at time of shipment inside StarShip or from sales order entry. So really inside sales order entry, we're going to add a StarShip little button. Customer service sales rep can click that. What it would do is it's basically going to scrape all the data from the sales order. So those line items, again, that ship via code, the ship to address, and it's going to open up StarShip's rate shop screen, which is the same as what a shipper would use. But of course, I'm not going to be able to process any shipments. So from there, if I had packaging scenarios set up, the customer service rep would see those. So those items would already be packaged for them. If you had rating rules or freight rules, switch rules, any of those rules, they would also see those right from inside of the sales order entry. So, they could even just have StarShip set up to do least expensive shipping. And then the customer service rep would see that StarShip automatically selected that. We also can get into freight rules, or what I'm trying to think of is, and I lost my train of thought, but if you're doing things like free shipping over X amount of dollars, or if certain customers receive a discount. So StarShip can be set up with rules where, we can do plus or minus a percentage, a flat rate, calculation, min-maxes, and those rules can be based off of list charges or your live contract charges. Okay. So if we have any freight rules set up, again, at time of sales order, customer service rep would see those, or even at time of shipment, our shipper would be able to see those as well. And then this is just an example of some of the documents that StarShip can generate. So it could be carrier generated. So for example, LTL, we just want to use the carrier's LTL document. So StarShip fully supports that. I should say, as long as the carrier supports that, but most of them do. So maybe you just want StarShip to electronically deliver that bill lading form. International documents, as I mentioned, commercial invoices, shipper's letter of instruction, certificate of origins, StarShip can generate those. And out of the box, StarShip would actually populate really all that kind of header and line item information on these documents you see. And then on a couple of these, like the bill lading form and that commercial invoice, I actually have them customized so they're signed, dated, really all that information is populating. So as a shipper, I just grab the document off the printer, I hand it to the driver so he or she can sign it, for example, with the bill lading form, commercial invoice, I just grab it, and it's all filled out. I don't have to stop and fiddle with the documents. Now, also with the Tractor Supply, again, that's just an example where we could set up a custom document. And if it's a blind drop shipment here for Tractor Supply Company, StarShip knows to only generate that special packing list, in this case for Tractor Supply Company, if the shipment is for that Tractor Supply Company. Right. Now, also with StarShip is our, in that dashboard program that I was mentioning, we do include an e-notify program. And with the e-notify program, you can actually design your own custom emails. So here's just an example of one I quickly designed. But nice thing with that is you can have your company information. And of course, I know Acumatica does this as well. But again, it gives you some options. Do you want StarShip to send an email, or of course you could use Acumatica's. But in here, again, put your company information, easily bring in Acumatica fields like sales order. Maybe you want to show them the PO number, maybe, hey, the carrier, where we're shipping it to, even number of packages. On these, you can even include the ETA, which is coming from the carrier, so that's accurate. Again, if we're doing item box detail, you can even show your customers what's in each of the packages. And then, of course, hyperlink tracking information so that the customer can click on that, and then they'll be taken to the carrier's website where they can track. And that way, not call you and say, hey, where's my shipment? When's it going to be here? Give them the power to do that. And then with the email templates, just kind of like those printing rules, you can actually do emailing rules. So maybe on this one, I have a promo code, and any promo codes you can also hyperlink and send your customer back to, say, your website if you'd like. But maybe we only want that to go to certain customers, or we have some clients that, hey, we have two different companies. So they just have two different templates set up. And then there's just emailing rules that StarShip knows when to send out the correct email template. And then with these also, I always recommend that because these are going to be sent at time of shipment, we can even set up StarShip to still use the carrier email. So for example, with UPS, their Quantum View email, but we could set it up where StarShip automatically selects, yeah, I want to use the carrier email. I'm going to automatically bring in email addresses from Acumatica. So as a shipper, I don't have to populate that. And then we can even set it where, okay, StarShip, only use the carrier email or have the carrier send an email if there's a delay or an exception. Just another way to keep your customers up to date on the status of their shipment. They're going to receive this nice branded email through StarShip, and then they would receive one from the carrier if there was a delay or an exception. Even you could link in sales reps, have StarShip automatically pull in their email address and then send that delay email to your sales rep, and they can be proactive and automatically, let me reach out to the customer and let them know that, that package, they were supposed to get it on Friday. Unfortunately, it's been delayed. They should get it on Tuesday. Okay. All right. So we've got about 5 minutes here, or a couple more minutes. I'll just put up my contact information. And again, like I said, please feel free to reach out to me if you'd like to schedule a call. Again, discovery live demo, so we can do a deeper dive into that integration between StarShip and Acumatica. More than happy to discuss your current workflows. And, I've been doing this for almost 10 years. So more than happy even to make suggestions and changes, but, really would love to show you how StarShip's going to help automate that process and setting up the system. So as a shipper, it's very simple. We process a shipment, we click a ship and process button or a shortcut key, all our documents print out. Automatically, that data goes back into Acumatica. So front office has access to all that information as well. And again, live connection. And then let's see, I'm just going to quickly see if there's any questions. Like I mentioned, if you don't mind taking a minute to fill out the poll, if you'd like, and I'll just double check here. Nope, no polls. Yeah, so I don't see any questions or any chat messages, but again, I really appreciate everyone taking time to join our session. This is a great community. Everyone's going to keep saying this. If you are not already a member of acu-CONNECT, please join. It's a great community to be part of. Again, we're all here to help answer questions. And like I mentioned, if you have any questions about your shipping process, please feel free to reach out. More than happy to discuss that with you. So again, everyone, thank you so much and enjoy the show. There's a great 2 days coming up here.
Everybody, you can go ahead and click on the sessions tab on the left side, and that will show you the next 3 sessions that are available starting at 1:15. And thanks again so much, Matt, for the great presentation.
Thank you. And thanks again, everyone.